Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 4. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. We had a really interesting spot in the market. It runs up against the resistance area and then just holds. Now, if there's some news that comes out later on the day, it'll break through. We'll go to S&P 6445. But if not, I think as long as it's going sideways like that, that's very positive, even though as a trader, it's probably one of the most boring things you can see because, you want to trade. I've looked at, I looked across the spectrum. You can't trade gold, you can't trade silver, you can't trade bonds, you can't trade the NASDAQ. You just gotta, right now, I think it's good just to keep the hand off the mouse, and this is a good time to do the academy. So welcome to the academy, and I just think it's important. Now today is Thursday, and I think that the market's done very well this week. It's held, it's making lower or higher lows every day as we go higher. And, we're up here at 6406, which is not a small task to be up so fast so soon. I know that the beautiful thing about it is that you can sit here and watch it and there's going to be probably a move today, but it's probably going to be a little bit later in the day to develop. Looking at some of the stocks, NVIDIA is very strong. AMD looks okay. I'd like to see it get above 162. I took some profits on it this morning, but I might reposition for another trade for next month because the stock gets above 162.11, then it takes off. That's AMD. But anyway, the hard part for me as a trader is to keep these hands off the mouse because right now you'll chop yourself up a little bit. I've got a futures position on, but I got a spread on there. So I'm okay there. But just looking around the board, very patient right now, very patient. So let's get started, Jonathan, if we will, with the lesson. Risks involved in trading, past performance is not indicative of future results. Let me ask you a question. If you could design my schedule, mine, that you could get maximum use of my experience, what would it be? Just tell me exactly what you would say would be a great schedule for you. I just want to take a survey here and ask that question because I'm putting in a lot of hours to help educate you, and I want to make sure that people are taking advantage of it because a lot of it's totally free. All you got to do is show up. I mean, give me some feedback here, if you will. I'm just looking for some feedback. Give me some ideas as I go into August, because sure, I want to take advantage of this market. Well, Jimmy, are you a member? You want to be an early bird? Are you a member of the T-Buzz Talk and Trade? That's the way to do it. And John, put that in there for Jimmy to join. It's $200 a month if you're an early bird. 9 to 10, that's Sunrise and Genesis. After 2, it's Moonlight and Weekend Side Hustle. Okay. I've seen you here several times, Jimmy. It's time to get your feet wet. Get in there and see some real stuff. I've been doing, Morris. I've got over the last month and a half, Morris, on Monday with my train and trade. I've got over 30 hours of training I'm giving to people. in the pre-market, Neil, you got to watch it because they won't let you set a stop in the pre-market. You can trigger it off the S&P, but that's more advanced type trading that would take, that'd be more expensive than me telling you to buy it, I guess. Okay. When you come here in person, ask me that question. I'll show you how to do it when we're face to face. In my opinion, the next target on the S&P is 64.45. Write that number down. I know you thought I was crazy when I said it was going to make it to 63.95 yesterday, but it did. So that's my target. That's the other thing you can do to help yourself is listen to T-Buzz TV. I try to keep it less than 2 minutes. No need to give you a whole bunch of crap. Just give you what will make you money, the way I look at it. I'm going 2 minutes. 2 minutes, that's a long T-Buzz TV. Now, this is one thing y'all can all do yourself a favor. How many people are following the 3-day algo for these different stocks? This is the key to having a good month is following this. Let me call up something. You see Berkshire there? Notice how Berkshire has gone into a neutral position after being short all month. Well, if Berkshire takes out 491, it's a buy. I know, you look at Berkshire and you say, well, look at Berkshire, but Berkshire is a prime example of a market turning here at the end of the month. Now they got earnings not this Saturday, but next, but they are bringing it up. But 85 is resistance on Berkshire, and it's at 85 right now. Yeah, HD's moving up, getting into hurricane season. Keep your eye on that one. Hood. Let's see, I saw Hood. Hood. Yeah, current price 101. I might want to look at Hood, Jonathan, for August. Yep. Anyway, this is a great sheet to start your day with. I start mine with it every day. In fact, I get Jonathan, I print this thing off every day at the end of the day because I like to study it at night and memorize some of these numbers where I'll be ready to go. That's the beautiful thing about the technology. You know? Let me just say this. You ought to call Fidelity and get them to teach you. I will teach from Tasty Trade and Charles Schwab. I can't learn all the platforms out there, but I stay focused on those two right now. Charles Schwab and Tasty Trade. Brian asked a good question. If the stock is significantly above its high, should you wait the next month? Well, that's where you get into the reference bars and Monday's high, Monday's low, Brian. Let me give you an example. Let's say the stock is higher than where it was on Monday and it's bullish on the list. I'm going to be buying it on Tuesday. That's one of my criteria. No, Jonathan's got this set up, Neil, that he updates it prior anytime I'm live. All you need is that link. Jonathan posts that link for everybody to copy, and all they got to do is copy it. And they'll get an updated copy even if they can't make the live, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Is that right?
That's correct, Tom. Every time you're live, I update it.
Now, are we charging him like $100 access to it, or we're just giving it to him?
Nope, completely free, just for being here.
There you go. No charge. It's right there for you. You think it's free, it's not worth anything. It's probably one of the most valuable things we do. It's right there for you. All right, so I think that pretty well covers that. Let's get back to the slides if we can. All right, we're staying with the book, The Markets Never Sleep. I'd encourage you to get it at Amazon. It's a great book. But here's another lesson from there. Today, we're going to talk about managing risk in global markets. That's a great subject in it with the market up high like this, right? Okay. Every trader, regardless of the product you trade or the hours you trade, must manage risk. Okay. You have to manage risk. You can't blow your account up because you think something's going to happen. Everybody understand that? And don't put all your eggs, as the old adage say, in one basket. That's a good common sense approach. I like to divide my risk capital by 10. So if I got 10,000, that's about 1,000 I'm going to put on any one trade. Or if I got 100,000, 10,000 is most I'm going to put. Everybody understand how that works? You take 10, divide it in there. That way it sort of gives you a level bet when you're taking these shots. That way if you have a little loss, it's not killing you. Here's one you got to know about. I met with a lot of people over the years. The ones that have done well are concerned about their money. No one's concerned as much as themselves about their money. Their money was hard earned. Always keep that in mind. You're your best guardian of your own money. Now, you can't use stop loss orders with options, okay? You can't use stop orders with options. You got to have the underlying. For example, if I have, let's say I got NVIDIA. Right now it's at 172.64 and I had an option on NVIDIA, I would say today if it got below 169.40, I'd get out of my option. That's called an all bets off number, okay? That's the way you do it. You look at the underlying, okay? That's the way you do it, okay? Now, if equity prices drop 10% during an 8-week period, beware. We haven't seen that in a while, have we? This is when you got to get nervous if you take 10% off. So you got really, what I do is keep up with the S&P. So what's 10% of 635? This is a good way to do it. Every day you ought to write this number out to know when you really have something bad happening. It's very simple to keep up with if you use my approach. The S&P 500 is at 635.28. 10% of that is 63 points. So subtract 63 points from the S&P 500, and guess what? That would be the number. John can do that mathematically and tell them where the number they'd have to worry about the market.
I think you were basing on the SPY, right?
Yeah, I just did it on the SPY.
It'd be the 5,750 to 5,800 range on the S&P futures. On the SPX, it would be 5735-ish, the 5750, so 5750 or so. I'll say 5700 to 5750. The futures trade a little premium. And on the SPY,
that's an important number.
about 571.
And every day you ought to have that number pasted to your computer. One of these days you're going to wake up and then you break it. That's going to tell you got trouble. Okay? It's a simple way to keep up with it. Everybody like my techniques? I've traded for 40 years and I can short circuit about 99% of what Wall Street will tell you about what the real information is. I have the fortunate period of losing a whole bunch of money back on October 19th, 1987. You learn this stuff. You know this stuff.
It's a really easy calculation. Just take the current price and multiply it by 0.9, and you'll get a 10% drop in price. You can do that in seconds on a daily basis.
Pretty cool though, isn't it? Have this technique all set up for you, right? Right, Jonathan?
Oh yeah, something to
I mean,
great
I
insight.
want y'all to do me a favor. This weekend, go through the internet and see if anybody just told you that valuable information. I bet you won't find it anywhere. Search YouTube. It's the hugest market in the world for that kind of stuff. See what they tell you and say, hey, I know more than they know, because you know it from the real deal, meaning I learned it through the School of Hard Knocks. Okay, that's the insight. Okay.
Hey Tom, I got workers knocking at my door
Okay,
here.
I can handle it from here until you get back.
You just won't be able to move the slides. I'll be right back.
Okay. We'll take a break. This is called an intermission. Anybody ever watched the movie Gone with the Wind? They got about a 15-minute intermission about halfway through that long movie, don't they? We won't take that long. All right, the market. The market is breaking above 64.10. That was the high. And so the market just went into that mode. It's going higher. Okay. So what does that mean when the market's going higher? Stocks like AMD is now at 161. Keep your eye on it. MU is up. Palantir needs to get above about 155.11. Would y'all like some all bets off numbers for some stocks? While we're waiting, I'll give them to you. Not all bets off numbers, but if AMD got above 62.11, I'd do an option play. If Palantir got above 155.55, I'd do an option play. If ETH got above 35.55, I'd do another option play. If NVIDIA got above 173.11, I'd go 173.55, I'd do another option play. If the QQ or if the TQQ, I would do an option play on the QQQ right now at 88.31. Let me verify that for you. No, excuse me. It needs to get to 88.51, then you can do an option play. Now, if you do an option play, okay, you need to go out about 10 days expiration. Now, in a short period of time right there, I gave you probably about 5,000 to 10,000 based off those numbers I gave you.
Okay, Tom, I'm back.
All right, Jonathan, type this in the chat room. NVIDIA becomes a buy at 73.55. AMD becomes a buy at 162.11. 62.11 AMD. MU becomes a buy at 112.55. Palantir becomes a buy at 155.55. And Kevin, I'll start, if you want me to, I'll start putting trigger numbers in there, okay? In the TNT. If that's a request of yours, I'll do it for you. Because I haven't, I'll just put it in there. I won't charge you any more either, Kevin. All right, keep going. Now, here's a question for you. What amount of loss can you afford to lose? Well, everybody's got a different amount, but you really ought to stay disciplined with whatever that amount is. In my estimation, okay, it's around 30%, sometimes 20%, sometimes 40%, but usually something like that would tell you you're in trouble. But here's the best rule I've ever come up with. Y'all want to know the best rule I ever come up with? It's a simple rule for loss protection. Who wants to know it? $72 hours for options. You're not making money after 72 hours. Give it back to somebody else. That's the best rule I can tell you to do. So if I put an option, and what you know, if I put an option on Thursday, you got Friday, Monday, you got to get out by Tuesday's close, you're not making money. Can everybody follow that simple rule? Over time, if you just do that, okay, that will improve your ability to make money. Okay. Now remember this. Every trader or investor is unique. Asset levels, risk tolerance, and wide array of factors determine the trading approach that you should take. It's got to match your personality. For example, if it takes you a long time to make a decision, you don't want to be a day trader. Have an understanding of yourself. That's very important. Know what makes you think correctly. And you already know that by this time of your age, okay? And if you know that, you're going to do pretty well, aren't you? That's the point I'm making, okay? That's the point. Now, let's talk about the Genesis hour and how important it is to know about this. What happens that makes Genesis so unique? All the world's markets quit trading by Genesis, okay? Now, you say, well, why is that important? Well, we're going to get some true trends because we're the game. If you haven't figured out America's the game, you haven't figured it out. We're the game. Reference bar Y starts at 11:30 and goes to about 12. I usually extend Genesis from 11:30 to 1. Personally, 11:30 to 1 when I'm looking at a bigger picture, trying to figure out, is that a high or is that a low? Okay. About 4 out of 5 days, the market will find a top or bottom during the Genesis hour. This morning's an interesting setup because we didn't have a top and bottom by 10. By sunrise, I typed into sunrise, hey, let's go educate ourselves. Keep your hand off the mouse. Now, 4 out of 5 days, the market will find a top or bottom. You think that insight should make you money? If so, let me introduce you to Genesis. Now, if you're not a member of Genesis, that's not being very smart because I'm doing all this work using the computer, interpreting it every day for you. It's a smart algo that isolates these stocks breaking out during the most powerful trading hour of the day. That's when Wall Street's in control. It generates these alerts right there inside the Genesis room. Right there inside it. Give you entry price, profit target, and stop loss. Now, let me tell you another use we don't ever talk about. Let's say that you're bullish on something, and all of a sudden Genesis just turned bearish. Well, then you got to tighten up some things, don't you? Okay? It makes you money or saves you money, as David just said. Let me walk you through how the membership works. Every day it scans through all the key indexes, all the different things. Now, this is a transition from the Seven Sisters into the security side. We're looking for that big power breakout during Genesis. Get that ding in your pocket, you're ready to fly. Like cleared for takeoff. Get your entry price, your stop loss, and profit target. It's all right there for you on the cheat sheet. Set and forget it. It's usually a 3-day trade, 72 hours. You ought to try using that rule, using Genesis. I bet your results will double what you're doing now. Takes the emotions out of it, okay? Get in, if it tells you to get in, get out within 72 hours, you don't hit your target, and guess what? You'll be fine. You won't win every time, but at least you'll be on the right side of history. Now you could sign up inside the membership portal. No download required. You go right into the room. You got the information. You're ready to go. I got a master class I put together that gives it to you step by step. Makes it pretty powerful, doesn't it? Now, if you're new to options, don't worry about it. I have a whole course design that we're going to give you. I would have called it T-Buzz option style, but I said options made easy. You will get everything you need. Options Bootcamp 101, the video series will help teach you from beginner to expert. We'll show you how to buy options and sell options that will help you. You know, usually cheap ones, 92, you can go up to $3 if you want to, but either one will make you money if you get the trend right. Some you make more. Isn't that great? 107% on the spot. Who wants to make 107% on a spot trade today? Well, guess what? You got to be a member of Genesis if it sets up.
Order submitted.
Breaks it down just for you. Up or down, it tells you. Great trades. Market's going up into Genesis today, so we're going to be looking when it goes up, whether we're topping out or having a continuation. If you're ready to be a new member, get signed up. Okay, AMD just went into a buy thanks to Junior. If you hang around, I might look at a trade there. DTItrader.com/Genesis. 904-706-533532. That's how you sign up. I hope I answered everybody's questions. I hope you learned something today. And you know what? We got a bonus session at 12. How about that, Jonathan? A bonus session at 12. So get signed up. You'll get to see it. Anybody want to make some money today? You got 14 days. Try me out. Try it out. All right. Jonathan, take a 10-minute break. I'm going to come back. We're going to do an AMD trade, sort of a scholarship one. I got it designed. Let's do it when you come back. By the way, Jonathan, include anybody that buys this into my special SPX trading I'm going to do next week. I just doubled my money during this conversation.
Sounds good, Tom.
You got 9 minutes. Okay. I'm going to mute myself and go look at the market, figure out what a good AMD trade is. All right, folks, first thing I'm gonna give you is the expiration date. It's, let me give it to you real quick for AMD. I'm gonna go out to the 22nd of August. 22nd of August. I'm gonna buy a straight call. Jonathan, where do you have that call right now? I guess you need to strike price around $1. Sorry. AMD, it's the $200 call.
Yeah, about $1.10.
All right. I'm gonna buy it at the market. Buy it at the market, and I'm buying a straight call. Okay. Let me know when everybody's had it, people that want to do it. I'll keep up with this, Jonathan, in TNT. Okay.
TNT, sounds good.
That way, if they want to join TNT and watch what we do with it, that's fine. Okay. So once you get that up there, can you bring up the option chain? I want to show and teaching something.
You got a preset target on this trade, Tom?
Well, I want to teach them something, okay? And then I'll give them the target. But you need it, put $1.44.
Thank you.
Okay. I want everybody to look at the $200 call. Do I think AMD is going to 200 by August 22nd? People, if you will, write in there. You think I think it's going to get there to 200 by August 22nd? Answer is no, I don't think it's going to go there. But do I think it could, do I think I can make 34 cents on this money in the next 72 hours? That's the question I'm asking myself, right? Okay, let me teach you how to figure out how high it's got to go to hit my target. Y'all ready? Jonathan, tell them the delta on that call.
Delta's about 10.
10, right? So every point it goes up, I gain 10 cents, right? Everybody follow the math? So NVIDIA's at 162, right? And if NVIDIA goes up roughly 3 points, which I do think it's going to hit 165 area, that's the next stop, I think I'll get filled at 144. You see how I did that? Now here's the key. I'm buying a straight call. That's not something that I normally do, but I'm trying to teach you something. I got one thing. I'm not thinking about a stop. I'm not thinking about anything. The only thing I'm thinking about today is, what day is today? Thursday. So today, Friday, and Monday, right? Since it's early in the day, we'll count it today. If I'm not making money on that trade by Monday at the close, I'm going to get out of it and take my hit. I got to be making money to stay longer than past Mondays. Everybody understand that? Type in yes, I understand the risk control I'm using. Simple, isn't it? 72 hours, I own a stock. I don't think it's ever going to get to 200 by August 22nd. However, I do think it could rise to $4 necessary for me to make 40 cents. Laura, I wanted to give myself enough time. One of the rules, if you buy a straight call, is to make sure it's not, if you're not going to get out of it the same day, you want to give yourself time for it to make it in the 72 hours. Well, it's going to cut the hit that I normally take by putting it out there 22nd days out. Okay. If NVIDIA goes, or if AMD goes sideways today, I'll lose maybe 10 or 15 cents on the trade. But if it goes up today, it's good. That's why I'm doing it. Everybody understand? Is that a good lesson, what I just taught you? Oh yeah, set your closing order in good to cancel, Carol. Set it and forget it. What you got to do is do the following. Y'all want to see what I do? Y'all want to see what I do? Watch this. Alexa, remind me on Monday to check A&D. 11 o'clock a.m. Monday morning. My trading assistant is set up to remind me on Monday to check this. If I don't check it by then, but I typically check it in the afternoon. Okay? Alexa, stop. Sometimes you got to get her to be quiet. All right, folks, thanks for coming today. Jonathan, we're coming back at 12, right?
Yeah, it's a Genesis bonus session at 12 p.m. So if you want to be involved, be sure to get involved with the Genesis program.
Right. I gave you a little thing. I don't know why anybody would want to be involved, so get involved. All right, I'll see everybody at 12. Thank you.